Hey guys, welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. And I am your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and I'm going to talk about the moon, the full moon coming up May the 7th, and it will be in the sign of Scorpio, technically at 17 degrees and 20 minutes. Before I do that, if you're new to my channel, I always give you all sign timestamps if you check the box below, and I will delineate each of your signs, sun, moon, and ascendant, as to what this moon will bring for you. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm putting something out in the next content wave. And I've got a few things lined up for this week as well that are pretty exciting. I don't want you to miss them. All right, so let's begin. And let me talk a little bit about two things: the pandemic in the context of the asteroids, and then the moon. Let's go really light touch onto the pandemic issues right now with COVID-19. We have the asteroid hygiene, health, and all of that hygeia at in the chart at 18 degrees, conjunct the asteroid Apollo, who's the god of plagues, as well as the asteroid Vesta, which can stand for something that is a sacred cause or something that for which we need to hold a sacred flame of truth up. I know conjunct Vesta conjunct hygeia could be, don't give up on the sacred hygiene, you know, wear your mask, wash your hands, wear your gloves, be careful, especially for other people who are more prone to being ill, that you don't actually accidentally infect them while asymptomatic. But the good news is Apollo being conjunct hygeia means that Apollo, the plague god himself, who kind of was a part of all of this starting out, will be well dealt a hand there with hygeia at the helm. There's a fixed star called Rigel. It's conjunct hygeia as well, and Rigel brings blessings of luck, stamina, determination. It's just an all-purpose fortunate star, so that bodes well as well for the pandemic. Now there's an asteroid called Pan that I've been playing with, you know, like Pan, you know, the green man Pan, but you know, pandemic is close enough. So I put Pan into the charts lately to see what he was doing. And this god Pan, on this full moon on May 7th, which sort of sets the tone for another month, full moon to full moon, is conjunct the North Node at 29 degrees of Gemini. And that's the anorectic degree, right? It's like a really powerful, potent degree of some kind of energy. And it's a new eclipse angles as well. It's like the nodal axis has moved into the Gemini-Sag corridor. And it tells me a couple of things. The North Node amplifies whatever it touches. And so there's still an amplification or a surge of energy going toward pandemic. But that means as well that the North Node is just starting its ingress or movement into Gemini at 29 degrees, and it will continue to go all the way through to over 18 months to the end of Gemini, which is to me maybe a sign that the end of this pandemic comes in that time frame. Okay, roughly 18 months from now. In the meantime, we're going to learn to attenuate, to live with, to watch out for clusters, to take care of things early, hopefully contact tracing, depending on which country you live in. So let's all see how that goes. But it feels like that's kind of a delineation I'm seeing here. Now, let's talk about the full moon. You know, there's something really magical about this moon for all of us, and that is this trine to Neptune. And Neptune in Pisces, where Neptune's been like meandering along for a long time, 14 degrees in a sign. Neptune in Pisces has been around for probably about 8 or 9 years, 8 years at least. Yeah. And the feeling I have here is this Neptune is extremely special this time, and it's trining, which is a positive, harmonious aspect to the full moon. And it's trining it, which is of the nature of Jupiter. Trines are optimistic and expansive and blessed energies. And it's trining it, but with 2 stars at the helm. 2 fixed stars are conjunct the 20-degree mark of Pisces, and that's Bacchus. Well, the asteroids, I'm sorry, asteroids. The asteroids Bacchus and Hermes. And Bacchus is the god of wine, and Hermes is the god of messages, like the messenger of the gods, but also a little bit more connected to wisdom and knowledge, astrology, astronomy, medicine, everything like that, because this is like more like Hermes Trismegistus, who is the creator of the Emerald Tablets and is a mythical Ankh carrying god from Egyptian lore. If you don't know what an Ankh is, this is an Ankh. I've got a great story about finding this Ankh under my bed after channeling a chapter of a book by Hermes and not even owning an Ankh pendant. So go figure. So the deal is that there's a bit of a Bacchus, the god of wine, and revelry and celebration. He's like Dionysius, the same kind of energy. He's the Roman version. And then Hermes, Trismegistus, or Thoth or Thoth. So let's start off with saying that Bacchus to me is if you have anything that you're consuming like an addiction, or anything that's driving you into extreme intoxication and revelry and sensuality at the expense of something else you need to do in your life, this is a good time to clean up your act, because Neptune can rule addictions. And with sitting on Bacchus, it's time to clean up your wine addiction or any other substance like that. It's funny. I just told my daughter to cut back one of her habits, and I just stopped drinking wine right now. So this started 3 days ago. So I'm on a cleanse as well. So there's something about this energy that can help you on this full moon really begin to manifest, full moon, your desire to come clean and detoxify and become less intoxicated by something that could cause intoxication, Bacchus. The asteroid Hermes is honoring and offering and inviting you and me and everyone else during this moon in our moon manifestation vibration to maybe look at what it is we want to create that is something that has wisdom, knowledge, and lasting value. Hermes was a purveyor and a keeper of the sacred knowledge. He could also be asking you, Hermes asteroid, to channel. Neptune is the god of channeling, and Hermes is the god of information and knowledge and wisdom. So why not, take this full moon and meditate a bit and see if something doesn't come down through you as you channel something in this full moon. It may show up in your dreams at night. Hermes and Neptune can bring you really, really intense dreams on the full moon. So pay attention to that. I'm on a squeaky seat. So if you hear this sound, that's all it is. It's like I'm on a bar stool in my kitchen. Okay, so I'm not really in outer space. So let's move on. I just think this is a very benefic, sweet, and magical, and relatively uncomplicated full moon. It's not the worst of the worst or the best of the best. There is a sort of a square ongoing here to Mars, but it's past its peak. So, it's not really perfectly angular. Mars at 26 degrees, Sun at 17. I'm just not really stressing about that square. A lightweight square to Mars is ongoing. That same Mars that's squaring this moon is trining Pan and the North Node. So I think that's actually optimistic that Mars could actually be bringing some kind of action, decision, warrior hero qualities to it, the pandemic itself. And I don't mean soldiers stormtrooping or anything. I mean something like more benefic and good than that. I'm just taking a peek at it. Again, I got my chart printed out because I prefer paper than staring at screens. But the other thing I'd say about it is that I think that with that Mars at 26 degrees of Aquarius, we know that Mars will... he's kind of coming into a zone of Pisces. He's kind of going to carry some Pisces energy, so Aquarian energy into Pisces. And so whatever happens at this moon, we could probably look for something happening about a week from now when he engages in the co-presence of Neptune and maybe brings some inspired warriorship to the resolution of the pandemic in a way, because Neptune can also be a part of pandemics. Okay. Neptune rules viruses and stuff like that, tiny things you can't see that can cause invisible enemy problems. All right, let's go ahead and do all the signs, and we'll start with Aries as per usual and look at the delineation for where this falls in your chart, this full moon and this trining of Neptune. So first of all, Aries, the full moon is in your 8th house of money. This is other people's money. That doesn't come to you for your salary or paycheck. It's dividends, royalties, inheritances, it's windfalls, it's sexual intimacy and eroticism, it's taboo subjects and stuff like that. And I get a sense that for you guys, the Aries sun, moon, and ascendant, that this moon will manifest a money breakthrough for you. It's on the quarter of money, right? Sun is in the second, and sun is in the second, and the moon is in the 8th. And then that trine from Neptune. So pay attention to ideas and dreams and reveries and inspirations you have, especially with Hermes there, that could offer you an insight or an idea that is kind of like channeled or intuitive about where you can increase your financial well-being. Is there something that you could sell that you like, should have been sitting on, like an investment of some kind? Is there something that you can create a royalty income from? That's very much the eighth house. I think that there's a lot of possibilities for Aries, sun, moon, and ascendants, especially the ascendant. Now, my sun sign is Aries, and I'm just channeling a book right now. Like I literally, not a fiction book. I'm not a nonfiction book. I got a great idea for a fiction story, and I'm like so excited about it. And I've been like really researching what I want to write about, and that is, I think, a part of what I'm feeling with that as an Aries, that Neptune moon energy. I just coming into a critical juncture about going past the research phase and maybe starting to write. So looking for new ways to create income, money, not income, but money that's more, as I said, derivative, passive income, stipends, grants, tax rebates, money owed to you that comes back, that kind of thing. Squeaky chair, sorry. All right, let's, okay. And so then, and when this is happening, that Neptune for you, Aries, is in your 12th house, which is the house of dreams and past lives and reveries. So it's really important that you tune in, because you can have a dream at night, and I've had a couple already, that completely show you something you didn't see and bring you some insight or ideas around creating greater wealth in your life. All right, moving on. Taurus. So you guys are going to have this experience of the moon itself sitting in your 7th house of long-term love and relationship. Taurus, sun, moon, and ascendants. Always start with your ascendant, then go to your sun and moon, depending if you're born at night or the day, they'll have different weight. So day is the sun, night is the moon. Now, for you, Taurus, with this energy in your 7th house, I think there's a strong suggestion that you're probably going to experience some kind of outer manifestation of something that you've hoped, dreamed, and wished for in your current relationship. Primary long-term love relationship, or if you're in a very intense one-on-one business partnership, in that. If you see clients and that's your thing, you deal with one-on-one clients, these are your clients as well. And I feel like it's because obviously Neptune is in your 11th house, hopes, dreams, and wishes, where Neptune's been going for a long time. And I guess what I'd say about that is part of the challenge of that is that Neptune has been trying to help you refine as it goes through your 11th house. What are your true hopes, dreams, and wishes, you Taurians? What do you really want? And so you're going to get what you really want, or you're going to begin to dream into it, or something's going to manifest with the idea of the relationship zone of the chart, the long-term committed relationship, 7th house. This feels, as I said, auspicious and benefic. Maybe the love of your life, or your heart partner, your husband, displays some kind of very romantic and kind and, I don't know, just over the top, a sense of, love towards you. Neptune rules universal love, enlightenment love, universal consciousness as well. You will find enlightenment always happening when Neptune's close by. Oh my God, I love this stuff. My arm keeps going into and out of existence. I'm between the realms. All right, Gemini, this is your 6th house. 6th house is your workplace and your routines and your discipline and routines for health as well as for work. Like my work routine is I got a Zoom camera thingy and my laptop and a microphone, and I work in my kitchen, and for some of you might go to the office normally when we're not in a pandemic. And, I like to think of your 6th house where you're going to manifest something with this moon, Gemini. I like to think of it as kind of your servitude becomes service and duty becomes destiny. It's where you really can escalate and elevate into your true calling. So sometimes I call it the house of right livelihood. And this is going to operate from a Neptune to coming out of your 10th. Don't forget, Neptune's been there a long time, but now this trine to the moon means some dream thing coming from the career area into your awareness in terms of the job area. So the 10th house is also your reputation and your status, and and it's been a tough call for you guys. You Geminis have been going through a long haul of about 8 years with this confusion about your true career path. It's going to start to clear up, especially now that Neptune has gone past the halfway mark of your 10th house. So just don't worry, it will all unfold for you. But at this full moon, a nice little bright light of something manifesting in the work and career zone, And it may be a dream event, like you really were hoping for it. And also don't forget, with Hermes on Neptune, get your inspiration. Now, if you're a Gemini involved in the wine industry, because Bacchus is conjunct Neptune, this is really good for you. If you're a vineyard owner, or you have something to do with festivities or wine or Bacchian Bacchanalia celebration, event planning, partying, hard to do that now, but the idea is that you could have some blessing if that's a field of work you do, where there's going to be some breakthrough energy for you, you'll see coming through this month. Neptune is the god of film industry. Therefore, he also rules video, like doing a Zoom video and putting it on YouTube is kind of Neptunian. So, because it's moving images and it creates the illusion of reality. So if you want to use a video for anything in your profession, this is really a great moon to catalyze you to do that. Okay, Gemini? Sun, moon, and ascendant. All right, let's go to Leo. So Leo, this is going to be an operation, yeah. Oh, sorry, not Leo. Cancer. I know my zodiac. Yeah, I do. Cancers, this is in your 5th house of romance, children, enterprise, speculation and luck, creative expression and artistry. All right. So, wow. So Cancer rising, sun, moon, and ascendant, especially rising. This could initiate a new romantic engagement. Somebody might come into your life, likely from a foreign land or through an international connection, because Neptune is in your 9th house and Neptune's trining this moon. So, wow, how about a love interest from a foreign place? That would be kind of fun. It's also campuses and stuff and higher education and churches and religion. That's other 9th house features. Meet the love of your life at church. Well, virtual church now. Some news coming through the educational front where you can meet the partner of your destiny through colleges or campuses or university settings, higher education. There we go. It's all possible. And there's also the possibility 9th house energies could be sort of about just something coming from a spiritual direction, like this is the house of God. So a partner that may not be at church or religion, but meditation, gurus, motivational speaking stuff. This is the inspired and spirited place of the chart where we're in connection with the God energy. And that's where Neptune has been going for a long time. Cancer, asking you to get in touch with your spiritual self for the last 8 years or so. So if you haven't been, it's time to get to it. And also not a good time to follow a spiritual teacher or guru with Neptune in the 9th. There will likely be deception there. So what can you do? Leo, this is a 4th house energy, and this is going to operate as this moon casts its beautiful full light to amplify something in your home. Now we're all stuck at home. So it could be about real estate as well. It could be, a real estate transaction, but it could also literally be the house that you live in. So Leo, this moon at 4 degrees, I'm looking at all my little charts and stuff here. Prop one up so I'm always staring down. I'm sorry, this is 17 degrees. This is also going to pull in the energy of that Neptune in your 8th house of money. Money that comes from things like investments and residual income and passive income and stipends and grants and money you lent to somebody coming back to you, loans and banks, spouses' money. And, if you sell something like a property, this is money you get from it, right? And I love that my knee has become a planet. So I would suggest to you that this is going to bring a fulfillment, a fruition, and a manifestation of something that you've been waiting for that will bring you money that comes out of the real estate zone. Okay, so pay attention for that. What else, Leo, sun, moon, and ascendant? Given that you've got Hermes there on that Neptune, it could also be just also saying you're going to sign some contracts or finalize contracts or end something contractual. If you have a debt that you have to pay off, you owe a bank some money or you took a credit line out or something like that, or whatever, you can pay off your debt as well, thanks to the light of this moon, with that support from Neptune in the 8th. It might have been, it's been a hard time lately with other people's money. Like maybe your husband or spouse's money hasn't been great in the last 8 years, and maybe you've been stressed out about your own banking and finances, and it's not been the easiest place for you because there's like a sense of fog there, not feeling good about your wealth, your treasure chest. But that's Neptune. That's going to change anyway. Neptune's past the halfway mark of the last 7.5 years. So you can just know that will clear up eventually anyway. But this is a good little light zone for you this month around the money and Yeah, the money and real estate, or getting money for your home, or renovating your home. Now that you're stuck at home, you may as well paint it, right? Neptune likes to beautify, and it has an artistic edge, just like Venus. Okay, we're going to Virgo, and Virgo, this is a third house activation, and I like third house activations because I've got a jam-packed stellium in my third. Third house is short-term trips and travel. Good luck with that. Education, seminars, workshops, elementary and secondary education, siblings, friends in the hood, your local neighborhood, that kind of thing. So something good is happening in that part of your story. And that's where that moon will be sitting, and it will be beaming a great big ball of light on that third house, and it will be interacting with Neptune in the seventh. Now, Neptune in your seventh house is about the marriage part of your house. Now, it's been a long haul for you, Virgos. I mean, you've had Neptune there for so many years, 7 years, 8 years, and bringing you illusion and fantasy, like discontent, maybe fog, uncertainty, maybe falling for the wrong person because you got your rose-colored glasses on in love, in long-term committed love. But now this light of the moon is really bright in your third house, and getting some support in that trine from your seventh house Neptune. So I'm going to say that looks like something good is going to show up in your current relationship if you're together. And if you're single, you might meet somebody new in your neighborhood, or on a short-term trip or travel, or in a course you're taking, maybe online. The third house is social media and online stuff as well. So it could augur a development, if you've been looking for someone, of someone new stepping forward into your life, a partner of destiny. And I also think that there's something else I want to say, is that Neptune energy that I really know, because my daughter is a Virgo rising, and she went through a hard time with relationships over the last 6 years. Like, holy man. And now she's met a beautiful man who's like I think the man of her dreams. Partner of your dreams is what Neptune can promise you as it goes through the seventh house. But the first 6 years, 7 years, 8 years can be going through the slog of helping you discern to know what your true dreams are, so that you're not dreaming your partner of your dreams into the wrong person. I mean, I would have said years ago my ideal partner was XYZ, and now I realize that that's so not true. I would be dreaming into my old self, not what my new self needs and wants. So I want you to think about that. Okay, you guys are, you Virgo sun, moon, and especially rising, are looking at a relationship activation this month. If you're selling anything, if you're a marketer, if you have something you're entrepreneurial, that third house is all those things as well, as speaking, writing, and communicating. So if you do any of those things, Neptune from the seventh can bring you Neptunian clients and Neptunian business and Neptunian others, mystical, sensitive, artistic, creative people. All right, that kind of thing, to be a part of what you're doing as a seller, or maybe collaborating with them as well in that trine. Moving on. Libra, you are going to experience, this is a very good money time. Your moon is in the money house, the second house of earned income and possession, self-worth, etc. If you have a message, it's also the throat. So anything you say could be very important and manifest well in terms of outcomes. So it's getting this energy of Neptune from the sixth house trine from Neptune to that moon is going to be about your livelihood, your work routine, maybe even your health routines that fortify your monetary gain. Like, sometimes we think that we're doing something really great for our health, a routine for our health that we believe we should be doing. It turns out to be terrible for us. I was a vegetarian, and I discovered that I shouldn't be, because I have an autoimmune response to legumes, and I got really sick being a good vegetarian. And so you might be asked to readdress that. Neptune in your sixth house for a long time, Libra ascendant, moon and sun, has been giving you a lot of confusion about health routines, which are best for you, which really work, and which ones really don't. So you might get some clarity on this moon about something that you thought was good for you, but it isn't. Now, same with the work environment. You might have thought, oh, this is a great work environment. It turns out not to be. You might have been struggling to feel good in your workplace. You might have felt fogged out in your workplace, like brain dead even in the workspace. So Libra, that's going to change. The moon is going to instigate something new and positive coming into the workplace. The highest word of Neptune is dream, the dream. What's the dream for your true workspace? Bacchus and Hermes are there supporting you. You can have some workplace revelry. If you work at home, it's great. Otherwise, it's Hermes energy too. And Hermes is, again, the messenger of the gods. if your work involves writing and messaging at all, this is a very auspicious moon. It could really escalate your Libras into a new ability category or something of accomplishments, or a real ripening of your abilities in that way. All right, moving on. And remembering it takes about a month for the influence of a moon to unfold. By the way, this is Venus retrograde. I can tell a Libra in this because she's Venus ruled. I cut my own hair. I couldn't take it anymore. I hadn't cut my hair since I hadn't had it cut for almost 2 years. And then we hit the pandemic. And I just went to the bathroom, took a pair of scissors and worked on it. And I think I did a damn good job for someone who doesn't cut her own hair. It was not here. It was like down, like to my waist almost. I couldn't take it anymore. Little story there. All right, let's go ahead. Moving on. Scorpio, first house. So you're going to experience an identity issue around this full moon, a ripening, a fullness of something about how you are perceived by others, but how you perceive yourself. This is your avatar. You know, my avatar today is wearing an orange shirt, has a gold necklace and a cut her hair. You know, it's the person and it's the physical form and it's the personality form that my soul is sort of inhabiting. And so your sense of that kind of self, you know, not your deep true soul self, but that transient temporary self, fictional self, if you're a spiritual type, is really under the light of this moon. And it's getting a trine energy from Neptune. Now, if you're a creative type, an artist of any kind, a performer, a visual artist, a writer, it doesn't matter what, Neptune beaming light from the fifth house is going to bring your creativity into a higher realm, a higher sphere. Neptune is a god of channeling. If you're creative and you want to channel a book, go for it. Channel a work of art, do it. Now, Neptune has been fortifying your creative house now for a long time, 6.5 years. Bad for romance, because that's a romance house. And if you're looking for love in all the wrong places, no wonder. Not to worry, the worst of that is over, past the 15-degree mark. Better and better. Dream love, dream partner, love of one's life could be coming around the bend. Now, that aside, this moon is though definitely amplifying your creative energies and your avatar as well. So being seen as a highly creative person, being acknowledged as a highly successful artistic visionary, you know, Neptunian energy in the fifth, is maybe what this fruition of this light of this manifesting moon is about. So let's see what happens there. Yeah, it feels really sweet actually for you guys, that Neptune energy in the fifth house right now, kind of having, for a change, less disappointment and delusion and fog and more promise and dream and hope. Okay. Anything else I want to say about it? Yeah, well, you know, the sun is in the seventh house during it, like moon is in the first, sun is in the seventh. And this is a sextile and a trine, therefore from Neptune in the fifth. If you're single, and you're a Scorpio, sun, moon, or ascendant, and you've been looking for love, this could be the time, the month that it happens, this full moon to the next, all right? Really could come to you even in COVID land. And again, if you're a creative or an artist or a musician, go for it. This is gonna like blow the top off your creativity, but you'll be seen by others as this master visionary artist, creator force as well. You might get a contract if you're really into the arts, you know, like you're looking for representation of some sort for your book or your music, because the sun will activate the seventh house as well. So it could be the beginning of an unfoldment of some kind of agenting or representing of your creative output. If you're looking for that, that could happen too. Scorpio, ascendant, sun, moon. All right. Ascendant is always, rising sun is always the stronger. All right. Moving on to Sagittarius with my squeaky chair. Sagittarius. Oh, okay. Guys, squeak, squeak, squeak. This is an inward light. The light of the full moon is shining in your hidden place, the 12th house. It's like your unconscious, your dreams at night, past lives. You won't see this playing out in the world. This will outpicture inwardly more so, you know. I kind of get a feeling when this happens for you guys, it's like, I kind of feel like you're going to get a download from the unconscious realms or the Akashic records or something. So really like tune into your dreams during this full moon and add 30 days or so, 28 days or so. Like really see, what are you dreaming into being here, Sagittarius is, and it's activating Neptune in that fourth house. Where do you really want to live? You know, where's your dream home? Is it this country? Is it this city? Is it this apartment? You might get messages from your ancestral line, the fourth house in your dreams, where the ancestors from the past are coming to you to tell you something. It's very magical and mystical to have this moon in the 12th house for you right now. If you're dealing with addictions or struggling with habits that don't work for you, Neptune going through your 12th can be a challenge, and it may be a time of this full moon of having the courage to go to the ground yourself, fourth house, and let go of some kind of habit or addiction that really doesn't work for you. And you've known it for a long time, like 7 years, time to stop smoking the weed or something, or time to lay off the wine. This may be the ripening of that realization for you. If you've been dealing with any kind of habit or addiction over the last 6, 7, 8 years, Neptune in the 12th can do that. It can make you depressed, and you might feel like you're mentally ill at times, or you might be. But this can also be a turning point this month. Something good is trying to happen here for you. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and ascendant. Also, the sun is in your 6th house, so it's activating protocols for better health. What do you want to eat? What do you want to do for exercise? How can you enhance your well-being with those ideas and those areas as well? It's all going to show up perhaps during this moon. If working is important to you and you need to have a job, possibly you'll get some kind of job coming out of something that was hidden from your view until now, and yet it was always lingering in your peripheral or in the edge of your consciousness. So you might get potentially a job offer that this moon brings to fruition as well. Maybe it's a job that you can do from the 4th house, from home. All right. Moving on, let's go to Capricorn. Capricorn, you goats, you're going to have an 11th house moon. This is just a good place. It's your benefactors, friends and allies, social tribes, memberships, societies and groups you belong to, your hopes, wishes and dreams, and great gains from your career, among other things. Hopes, wishes, and dreams. I said that. So the moon is shining a light in this part of the chart that's the house of good spirit. It's normally a positive place in the chart as it stands. It's just a good spot. And this is going to be receiving Neptune's light in a trine from the 3rd house of the siblings in the neighborhood, short-term trips and travel, and education. Now, it could mean a message from a sibling or some news from a sibling that is illuminating some good fortune for you in your reputation and in your gains from your career. But if it's not something as literal as a sibling or an aunt or an uncle, those kinds of relatives, which it could be, then it could also be your real friends, the ones you hang out with in the pub when we could do that, your buddies in the local city that you live in, bringing you some kind of opportunity that's Neptunian. Now, creative, transcendent, magical, mysterious. Hermes is up there. Bacchus, wine and revelry, books and ideas, knowledge and wisdom. I kind of feel, and those asteroids that are sitting on Neptune in your 3rd house. Is it your 3rd house? 4th house. Oh, where am I? Oh, yeah. Third house. Sorry, Neptune's in your 3rd house. Yeah, with the asteroids. There's something else I want to say about that. If you're selling anything, if you're a marketer or an entrepreneur, and Neptune's been going through that part of your house now for 6, 7 years, you may be confused and fogged out, not too clear, uncertain, maybe just not on your game at all. But if that's at all a field of interest for you as a Capricorn, and it's going to get better, Neptune can bring you visionary ideas and visionary goals, like visionary, just think visionary. And if you ever use film, video for anything you want to do, this is a bright light of trining energy where that film and video could really impact your career and bring you great gains from your career. So if you were thinking of starting a YouTube channel, go for it. If you were thinking of doing anything with the film industry, like the Hollywood, the real film industry, go for it. Auspicious, keep to your course, because this would be the light of that moon shining from Neptunian light, film industry, 3rd house, contacts, people that benefit you in the 11th, great gains from benefactors, friends, and allies, but also that 3rd house, local contacts. So I kind of think somebody local is basically going to give you a great boost this month. And it will benefit your career, and it will benefit your sense of well-being, and it will take you in the direction of your hopes, dreams, and wishes. All right. Aquarius, this is me. I'm an Aquarius rising. Well, we get a 10th house full moon. Now, this is the career, the reputation, the contribution, your public status, etc., the high noon energies of your chart. With this moon getting light coming to it from beaming a trine light to it from the second house, Neptune. Well, Neptune's about your true dreams, really, your true dreams and your higher visionary ability, your highest imagination. And it's been in your second house of earned income for so long, 6.5, 7, 8 years, somewhere like that. And it's been hard because Aquarian risings have been like orienting towards income that's spiritually meaningful, and that's not always easy, right? I mean, seriously, sometimes you got to just make a buck. So for some of you Aquarius risings, this has been a challenge, but this is a good moon to begin to light that up and turn it around a bit. Plus Neptune being at 20 degrees, he's past the 15-degree mark, basically, where that's the fog zone, and the 15 onwards, we're coming into like, there's a lighthouse ahead, And so Aquarians, look for something to do with earnings and self-worth and self-possession, and also your voice, because the throat is the second house. So anything you want to speak or say to the world is important. And Neptune is all, and the voice is also the throat, things you put in your mouth and you eat. And Neptune there is like, you've been looking at a 6-year, 7-year, 8-year window of trying to curtail your addictive eating and drinking habits. Now with this moon in the 10th on a high note, you're going to have the power and the strength to do it, because that's the very top of the chart where we wield our power to quit your bad habits if you need to. Things that go into your throat, you shouldn't, but things that come out of your throat, Aquarians, are going to be really, your mouth, your message is going to be really elevated with Neptune juice. High truth, mystical, visionary, imaginative energy. All right. Good for writers, good for artists, good for creators of content. And then the sun is beaming a little bit of light there, of course, from the opposition in the 4th house. There may have been some questions about moving or staying home or staying put, and those will be resolved as well over the next 2 weeks. I have been through that. I was offered a new place to live by my landlord that was really sexy, but I didn't really want to do it because I didn't really want to pay for 2 bedrooms, at the expense of, saving some money. So maybe that's still in play for some Aquarians who've been looking at home-based issues. The sun, a shining light at the moon in the 10th, home and career, but also money, highlighted for the next 30 days, 28 days from the May 7th moon. Finally, I always leave Pisces for last because that's the way the order goes. Maybe I'll mix it up next time. Pisces, the moon is fully shining its light in your 9th house of foreign land, university and campuses, and this is Pisces, sun, moon, and ascendant, especially ascendant. The 9th house of God, the 9th house of religion, of spiritual wisdom. You'll find like sages, gurus, spiritual guides up there. With the light of the moon in the 9th house being given a gift of a trine light from Neptune in your natal 1st house, there is likely something that's going to involve foreign countries or foreign lands, I think 9th house for sure, that will have a positive impact on your identity in this world, your avatar. If you do anything with business online, that makes a lot of sense, of course, because the world is your oyster and country boundaries don't matter with the internet. There is this energy of coming into a kind of 1st house brightness in your own comportment, in your own demeanor, in your own physical appearance. It's like maybe some heavy energy that you've been dealing with is lifting from you now, and this light of this moon allows you to shine a kind of visionary light into the world, 9th house, into the world at large, globally. A visionary light, kind of like a high visionary imagination. If you want to use visual film or video in anything you're doing, because Neptune is the god of that imaginal world of film, then you are likely to be very successful on a larger scale than local, courtesy of the manifestation power of this moon. It may be time to break out the selfie stick, and do some YouTube videos if you're just starting out in that direction, or if you've been thinking about harnessing video for anything that you're doing in your work. If it's not that, as I squeak on my chair, I'd say something good is coming to you from another country than you currently live in, that will give you a greater sense of spiritual clarity and ease in your life. Ninth house Neptune. You know, ninth house Neptune is really asking you to get down, all of you Pisces, ascendant, sun and moons, but especially ascendant, is asking you to really, first of all, don't look for a spiritual teacher. You're going to find a shyster. You know, Neptune for 8 years has been going through your ninth house. You're definitely going to attract some deception in spiritual teachers. So I think it's about your inner guru. And I think that ninth house transit, which is more than halfway through, Neptune's at 20 degrees, is a call for you Pisces to look inward and discover your own inner guru, your own inner teacher, and not to be swayed by cults or charismatic leaders or anything like that. And I bet you Pisces, sun, moon, and ascendants have some charismatic leaders stories to tell. So it's time for that. Or you could have been disillusioned or under the spell of an illusion about something in another country than you live in. So I'm thinking of someone I know who's a Pisces rising, who kept a property in another country, and it was utter sentimental value, but she had to finally let it go financially. And now is realizing it was almost like there was a spell that she was under, you know, an illusion, a confusion, Neptune, about that property, which had water ingress, and the roof was leaking and things were going really bad with water. Neptune in the ninth, that property had to be sold, and it was just sold. So this is an example, but it could be many different things to do with your awareness of who you are, your spiritual path, and foreign lands. But there's a bright light shining, and something to do with siblings as well. Third house sun or aunts and uncles could also come into play over the next 30 days. Okay, so that's it. If you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You'll know when I'm going to put up my next video, which is a Venus retrograde one, and also an interview with a Venus retrograde astrologer who's doing an amazing class coming up, as well as I want to talk about the nodal axis change and Jupiter retrograde. So all those are in the pipeline coming up in the next week or so. So please like and subscribe. If you want to know more about what I'm up to, my website and all the details are in the description box below. I have a sale. Yes, my sale's still on. It was going to end on May 1st, but my PayPal went down for like 6 days, and I had to get it back up. They thought there was suspicious activity, and so people weren't able to book. And so I'm continuing for another couple of weeks my Year Ahead Fabulous Forecast at $90 off, 40% off. A lot of people are wanting that reading. It's quite long, quite detailed. It's normally $225. It's only $135. So if you need some guidance during this pandemic and you're feeling anxious, like a lot of people are, I'd love to be there to serve you, to offer you some clarity and some directionality as this year ahead unfolds in your chart and in your life. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys in a couple of days for the next video, my interview with Louise Eddington. And she's an amazing astrologer, Cosmic Owl Astrology. So I'll see you soon. Ciao.